We're back with Salem Mayor Kimberly Driscoll, and Madam Mayor, you have a public safety exercise happening soon. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had actually had this planned with both our own police department, some of our federal agencies, and the MBTA, public safety drill, which will take on the effect of if a bomb was on a train and we had to offload folks, and how all of our first responders and others would come on board to help out in the event something like that happened. Especially with Halloween, so many people taking the train in, we want to try and make sure we're doing all of the right threat assessments, and then also understanding how can we better prepare. So Sunday, June 2nd, very early in the morning, when there isn't typically a lot of train activity, we will be reenacting a bomb going off on a train, and it will be something that all public safety agencies will be participating in, and then we'll be grading ourselves afterwards and making sure we're on the ball should anything like that ever come to pass.
Now, is this a result of the marathon, or was this in the planning stages?
It was planned before, but certainly it's taken on, I think, a greater scrutiny, and for us, heightened interest given what we saw in Boston, and we're very conscious about the number of people who come here in October and wanting to be safe and friendly, and so we're doing a lot more than just this exercise as we gear up, and I think everybody is who has big events. Yeah,
well, especially as you said, October is just unbelievable. Is there a crisis management director type thing, or?
Yeah, we have an incident command management system, an ICMS system that we employ. I'll be participating in it. All of our public safety officials, folks from the T, a number of the federal agencies, businesses, in terms of folks who may be called into play, the hospitals, any agency you could possibly think of that would need to rely on a circumstance like that, will be participating in this exercise. We're actually looking for volunteers. We're trying to get folks on the train, in costume preferably, so that we can make it as lifelike, as real as possible, and really test all of our responses. And the best way you can be prepared is certainly to drill.
The amazing thing about the marathon was that there were so many emergency personnel there anyway because of the marathon, right, taking care of people at the medical tents, and so on, and so it obviously helped in saving lives that otherwise, I mean, some of the injuries were just so horrific that you couldn't possibly survive, and they did. In Salem in October, you have a lot of extra people on, do you not?
Yes. There's typically anywhere from 250 to 350 additional law enforcement officials. That's just on the one day. Throughout the month, we have an array of folks who work with us. For a medium-sized city, our department is pretty well versed in handling large crowds. Not only do we have Halloween in October, but there are always large-scale events here. We host the North Shore Pride Parade in June. We host a number of large festivals. So we're used to sort of the crowd management. Halloween is definitely amped up. It's a holiday where people are dressed up. It's mischievous. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that people come and are safe.
And finally, this exercise that you're going to do on June 2nd, you can't bring in all those outside people, obviously, because they have other commitments, and you bring them in October. So this will strictly be a Salem exercise?
No, they'll all be here. So there are participants. It's known as a tabletop exercise, except this is obviously being done in real time, real train. All of those agencies will be participating, and we're going to treat it as if it's really happening, and what would we do and who would respond. And I think we want to make sure that we're prepared. Amazing with the marathon how they just switched right away from a marathon athletic event to triage, public safety, rerouted the runners, set up family reunions. I mean, there's some good pieces of information that took place there, and lessons we can learn should anything like that ever occur. Obviously, we're trying to do as much threat assessment in advance and really ensure that we can keep people safe, and working with our own visitors who are here and residents too.
All right, and the exercise again is when?
Sunday, June 2nd, 7 in the morning.
If you want to volunteer, what do you do?
You can contact the City of Salem or go to salem.com. We have a link set up.
All right, Salem Mayor Kim Driscoll with more stuff online. I'm Rick.